conference table, dudes smoking cigars. Like, how can we really mess these people up? I don't think it's that at all. I think it's just an algorithm that's rewarding what's creating the most revenue. So like showing you an ad for shoes is way easier after you watch the little baby deer video, or after I make you think that the water supply is being destabilized. So I think it's just an algorithm. I think there's many other things where there's people involved in manipulating the public. I don't think that social media is doing that on purpose. That one piece of it. The piece that I do absolutely think this is being done on purpose is if you're on the left and you open your feed, you're going to be shown the dumbest piece of shit idiots on the other side that they could possibly find. And if you're on the right, you're going to be seeing the exact same thing about people on the left. And with the number one goal being, you in the deepest part of your mind, you cannot help but make a permanent judgment about reality of those people are effing crazy. All of them are crazy. I can't trust them. I can't listen to them. And this is a campaign that I think is called engineered division. And if I can get people fighting horizontally, they're not going to look up. If I can get somebody destabilized and kind of at odds with each other, your ability to think critically is reduced by like 50%. This is massive. And they've shown this in many studies. And just getting someone destabilized in that way, where they're kind of fighting each other, they're distrustful of their neighbors, they're 10 times more easy to manipulate. So if you think of like how our brain works, if you're falling off a cliff, your arms and legs are going to flail all over the place, they're moving everywhere. The first solid object that touches your body, you're going to like instinctively grab onto it. Even if it's a thorn bush or barbed wire, you'll grab it. So when a population is destabilized and something clear and logical is presented, something like a prepackaged enemy, I'll just leave that there, is given to you, you're 10 times more likely to accept it because it's clear, it's prepackaged, and it's easy to follow. And humans do not ever follow like the best leader in a situation. They follow the most followable. And there's a big difference between those things. So destabilization, that would be step number one. And 2 Chinese intelligence officers wrote a paper on this. I think it's called Unrestricted Warfare. It's been translated into English. And they use a hypothetical country that really looks like the United States in this paper. But they talk about this asymmetric warfare and how we have to get them fighting each other. We have to make them distrustful of each other, and we destabilize the government from the inside because we can't win a terrestrial war with these people. And they all of this is just written out there. You could buy this probably on Amazon for like $3 or $4. This translated book is probably online too. But it's very open. That it's not like the normal bad guys that you hear about. These are foreign state actors that are doing some of this stuff. We just had a former mayor of a city in California, I believe, that was proven to be a operative for China, a mayor. And so I think people are thinking like there's some ancient rich family, in the depths of some cave somewhere plotting the destruction of the world. I think it's just countries that hate each other and greedy, selfish companies. Maybe I'm oversimplifying it, but if you're watching the news and you don't hear nuance, you are being manipulated. Because they're giving you a message. Here's the enemy. Here's how to feel about what you're watching on the news. And here's exactly what's happening. And they'll tell you that this, and this, all these 3 things happen. They'll never tell you how they're connected. They'll act like everything's a separate story. So I think there's an agenda. I won't pretend. I'd be a fool to say like I can understand or know the end game of any of this stuff. That was a long ass answer to your question.
What makes a leader followable?
Yeah. There are authority first, the perception of authority. And we trust in order. There are 5 things that make us trust another human being. First is confidence. So the person doesn't have any reservations. They're talking clearly. They're speaking in a way that I can clearly understand. They're not using academic language, which is why most presidents, the president who speaks at a lower grade level is, I think, like 35% more likely to win a debate. So that makes them followable, right? Confidence and literacy, like it's clear to understand them. They're very confident. Next is discipline. And I don't mean that the person is like making videos of themselves waking up and like, hey, here's my morning routine. But I mean, like, we can see discipline on people. We can see somebody that has self-control and discipline, and that starts coming through. We can pick up on that. And then leadership, and for good or bad, there's cult leaders that have all these problems or all these qualities too. Gratitude and enjoyment. The gratitude just being like, I'm thankful for what's happening right now in the moment. I'm emotionally stable. I'm easy to follow. But we're not really going into all that. Our brain's shortcut is that we follow someone who is probably loudest, clearest, and has no hesitation in their behavior. So our brains are trained to look for micro hesitations and automatically give us a little gut feeling of, oh, I shouldn't trust that person. So micro hesitations are the fastest way to destroy authority.
In both of those scenarios that you just described, the world being chaotic, and difficult, and confusing, and something being offered up as order. In one example, it's an enemy that's prepackaged. There's order. Why is this going bad? It could be a million reasons, or it could be that group over there. And the same thing for leaders. I don't understand what's going to happen. We've got all of these different directions that we could go down. Don't worry. All of that chaos doesn't need to be worried about, because I have the order and I can wrangle this system to bring it to bear.
Yeah. For better or worse. And that's what happens. And if you just, the way that I describe this very simply is the process is to close down a machine or close everything down, build pressure inside of it, and then decide where the pressure is going to release. So it's a controlled release of pressure that's been being built up on purpose. And sometimes that is like the pressure is some relief. Like we have this national thing that's happening and the pressure release is chosen at a certain point. And there's a lot of people that say, like, track the money. If you track pressure, like financial pressure, economic pressure, shipping and trade pressure, oil shipping around the world, tracking the pressure is always more revealing from an intelligence perspective than tracking the money. This pressure is going to show you, like, it has to have a release valve somewhere. And 9 times out of 10, there is a person or group of people that are choosing how and where the release valve is going to be.
Before we continue, I wish someone had told me 5 years ago to stop overthinking nutrition and just find something that works. I've simplified mine down to 1 scoop a day, and it's made hitting my nutritional bases an awful lot easier. AG1 includes 75 vitamins, minerals, probiotics, and whole food ingredients, and that is why I've been drinking it every morning for over 5 years now. And they've taken it a step further with AG1 Next Gen, the same 1 scoop ritual, but now backed by 4 clinical trials. In those trials, AG1 was shown to fill common nutrient gaps, boost healthy gut bacteria by 10 times, and improve key nutrient levels in just 3 months. They've been refining the formula since 2010, 52 iterations and counting, and I love the Next Gen because it's more bioavailable, it's clinical validation, which is unbelievably rare in the supplement world. The older I get, the more I realize that the small stuff compounds, and this is one of the smallest things I do that makes a massive difference. If you're still on the fence, they've got a 90-day money-back guarantee in the US, so you can buy it and try it for 3 months, and if you do not like it, they'll just give you your money back. Right now, you can get a free AG1 welcome kit that includes a bottle of D3K2, AG1 flavor sampler, and that 90-day money-back guarantee by going to the link in the description below or heading to drinkag1.com/modernwisdom. That's drinkag1.com/modernwisdom. What's the outcome you think that those people want?
Like the they?
Yeah, the they. If there is, part of this is social media algorithms have reverse engineered the way that humans' brains work, because it's a very simple algorithm.
Super simple.
And the fact that it's simple is why it's so effective, because if you started to put constraints on it, you would be trying to predict the best way to get the outcome that you want. The best way to get the outcome that you want is to just let it optimize for that outcome and reverse engineer however it got there.
Yeah.
That's why we can complain all we want about the algorithms, but even the engineers, you open up the black box of YouTube, or you open up the black box of TikTok, they don't know what's happening inside of there. There is no knowing about what's happening inside of there. This is just recursive algorithms training itself.
Yeah.
Interesting. The coolest thing I learned about this is from Stuart Russell, guy that wrote the textbook on AI. So up until probably 2020, when the transformer technology and LLMs came along, it may still be the case. I know he's still talking about this a lot. I think his textbook had been translated into 100 languages. So it was used around the world. It was the canonical textbook for AI, Stuart Russell. He wrote this book called Human Compatible. He's talking about computers, humans, some psychology, a lot of AI and computer science. And he said that there's two ways that algorithms can become better at predicting what it is that you're going to click on. The first one is serving you content which is more akin to something that you want to press, right? Like if all that you're trying to optimize is CTR and watch time, basically, which is kind of every algorithm now, I can just better predict what it is that you want and give you that. But the other side is I can nudge your preferences to make them easier to predict. So it's a bi-directional relationship. And it's not like anybody told the black box algorithm to go and do this, but over time it knows, hey, if I walk people down this sequence of steps, and this is where I think the truth about pipelines and radicalization comes along, but it's not necessarily radicalization to an extreme of one particular worldview, it's an extreme of predictability.
Yeah.
And this bi-directional relationship between becoming better at working out what you want to click and becoming better at making you more predictable to work out your preferences.
Yeah.
That is really, I mean, it's when he told me about it, it blew my mind.